For 30 years, you've known Dean Stevens as a weekend sports anchor and reporter, a sports director, and now the evening co-anchor here at ABC News 4. He sits down one-on-one with me for a special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. Listen to this interview tomorrow on my free Quintin's Close-Ups iHeartRadio podcast. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Dean Stevens.
Yes.
Welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Good to be here. It's been a few years. Did I offend you? No.
I'm always busy, as you know.
You are. You know, it's funny about this guy. He's like, Dean, would you like to do this? I go, sure. And I go, can you do it tomorrow? He's like, oh, no. Let me look at my calendar.
Right.
I've got next Tuesday, like in a month ready.
Right. That's right. I might have calendars actually booked up until mid-October right now.
That's fantastic.
Speaking of time, let me take you back to last week, Friday. Obviously, MUSC, along with the Sean Jenkins Foundation, just unveiled the new Children's Hospital in downtown Charleston. I know your family had a big, huge role in the Children's Hospital, meeting with your son, Sam, many years ago.
Yes.
Where are you emotionally when you look at this new adventure in Charleston?
So, it's extremely emotional. Let me take you back to mid-May, right? So, after Sam's accident, my wife was doing real estate stuff. She got involved with the hospital, started volunteering there. They ended up hiring her, and all these years later, she's now the manager of patient and family center care. Right? You should interview her next.
Sure.
Anyway, so she was asked to give the commencement address for graduation in May. So we were all there. It was an amazing event, and when I turned that corner from the president's office and I looked at that hospital and I saw everything set up, just this wave of emotion came over me because I remember walking out of that hospital with Sam when he was, a year old, and then we were like, all of a sudden we were standing right there, and it was so surreal how that happened. So, as they started working on the hospital, Caroline was helped with some of the design plans early on. And that's one of the really cool things about this hospital is that they took in parents and children, patients, they took in their suggestions and their ideas and actually implemented it into this hospital. So it's really neat. It's a state-of-the-art building. Obviously, it's beautiful. You're not going to get any better view then up on the 7th floor. It's amazing. But some of the things they're going to offer to these families and to the women's in the Tourville Pavilion and the patients all came from ideas from parents who had kids in the hospital and also kids themselves.
Pretty neat. Let me turn it back to you.
Why? I don't like to talk about me, but go ahead.
Me neither. 30 years here at WCIB. What does ABC News 4 mean to you these days?
I think it means to me today the same thing it's meant to me 30 years ago. It gave me, I had worked in a small town in Texas for 3 years, and when I came here in 1990, it was a fresh start. So every day I come here, it has been kind of a fresh start every day. And I think if you talk to anybody in this business, that's one of the things we love about it. We really don't know what the day is going to bring. We have no idea if there's going to be breaking news. We may have a schedule of events we're going to cover, but then if something big happens, everything's off the table, and then you're jumping into breaking news, as you know. So it's just every day. It's like a fresh start.
You talk about this business. How has it changed you?
How has it changed me? It's made me old. Really old. It's made me fat, really fat.
We're going to come.
It's made me. It's. I don't know. I think it's made me a bit cynical. It gets harder to do because there's so much more negative and bad news, right? And your mom's calling you. No. And so it's changed me. But at the end of the day, there's still goodness in people, right? The stuff you do, right? You're a good dude.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then, so that's kind of the stories that I concentrate on. That's what I want to do. I want to tell people stories, and 9 times out of 10, they're really, really good stories.
Speaking of which, what story means so much to you these days?
Do you want me to tell a story when's this going to run, by the way?
Tonight.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell it anyway. I did a story Friday, and I think it's probably going to run on Monday, about a Goose Creek family and they were about to have a baby, and they came over from Goose Creek over to Mount Pleasant, and the man actually delivered the baby in the car while he was driving with his knees. So I went up to the hospital, interviewed him, shot the whole story with my phone.
Wow.
Right? And so we're going to do that story on Friday. Or on Wednesday. It's an amazing story. So, I look at that story, and I mean, that's the one I just did on Friday. But, we did a story on Genesis mom, Jennifer Holmes.
Right.
That was one of our Jefferson Award winners last week. And what she's been able to do after her son's death was amazing. The Chris Rainey story.
Oh, yes.
Through the Jefferson Awards, we sent him to D.C. and he was awarded a national award.
Yeah.
So being able to have that, to have that avenue to be able to send people down this road and help them a little bit, it's really gratifying. Pretty cool.
Cool. You talk about the news delivering is kind of cynical these days. I know that you've been able to really tell it like it is.
You think?
How do you do it?
Well, sometimes it doesn't go so well, right? But you just got to keep doing it, right? You got to stay true to who you are. That's the biggest thing, right?
Why do people trust you after 30 years?
I don't know. Dave? I think because I think
Dean is who he is.
See?
Who Dean is on camera.
Right.
That's who Dean is off camera.
Cameras, yeah.
I think that's probably it. Is that, and I think there's probably some people that don't appreciate that, but I am who I am, and I'm going to say what I think and how I feel. But again, I mean, the greatest compliment to me is that when I go do these stories, these Jefferson Award stories, is that these people will share the most intimate details of their life with me, right? But they know that I'm going to tell it in such a way that it's respectful and it's compassionate and it's going to help them somehow down the road, right? And so I think maybe that's why.
That's why.
I mean, why did you say, okay, you were going to let me interview you, right? I wasn't going to mess you up, right?
No, I didn't think anything of that.
Yeah, okay. But I think that's the thing, right?
Yes.
Because, sometimes news gets a bad name, right? Fake news is a big thing these days, right? Does that affect you? Do you hear people say that?
No, thank God. In the name of Jesus Christ. No. Doesn't, it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah,
thank
it's
God.
hard.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I'm immune from that, thank God.
Well, yeah.
Because the people I sit down with, they're real. They tell me what they're feeling, and it's real.
Why do you think they tell you that kind of stuff?
I don't know. It's the grace of God.
Okay. I'll buy into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Charleston, from the time you came here in 1990 to now, what's the biggest difference?
The number of people who followed me here, right? I think when I moved here, there was 20,000 people in Mount Pleasant.
Right.
Now it's 75,000?
Wow.
Right? Downtown, King Street was 3 or 4 shops, and that was about it. Right. Now look at it, right? Everything used to be on the market, and now everything's kind of moved over there.
Right.
And then, you start traveling out of town. I mean, if you like to go to Main Street in Columbia, you got to go 26. What do you see when you drive 726? It used to be, there was the Ladson exit, there was the Somerville exit, and then you were in the country, right? Now it's Volvo and Boeing, and it's just blown up. People found out how awesome this place was.
Well, yeah.
And they're not leaving, are they?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Obviously, you've been here for 30 years.
Why do you keep bringing that up? Am I not saying something you want me to say? It's I know I've been here 30 years. You think I'm yes, I'm older?
Oh,
yes.
No, I don't think so.
It was just, there was no reason to leave here.
Yeah.
Right? There was no reason to leave here.
Yeah.
Right? I'm 10 minutes from the beach. I'm 10 minutes from my house. And that was the most important thing. I can be home and see my kids like that.
How are the kids these days?
So my oldest is 22. He just graduated from Charleston Southern, and my middle one is going to be a senior in high school, and then Sam's going to be a freshman in high school, both at Wando. So they're all really, really good.
I feel I'm not old, but
Does that make you feel old?
Yes, Sam was really growing up around the time I knew him in 2005. Remember when I was production assistant here?
Yeah,
but I remember that time. So 2005, yeah.
So 2005,
14 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's when he was born.
Yeah, I remember because I was working. I was working right here.
Yeah. So
couldn't run the cameras or anything or teleprompter.
You couldn't?
No.
Why?
I was horrible at that. Horrible.
Well, maybe come back and give it another shot. No, you already got enough jobs.
Yeah.
But I see where it led you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. This camera shot is not the best, but we'll work with it. Yeah. There you go.
I just like being close to people.
See? Yeah, that's right. what can we expect from you next? What's the headline that you want people to know about Dean Stevens next?
What's going to be next? Professionally, I would think I'll stay here for a while longer, right? I'll continue to knock out those Jefferson Award stories and tell good stories, and that's what we do. We try to keep it down the middle. We don't want to go left. We don't want to right, and we just there's a great privilege to being able to share people's stories, and we are a service to the community, right? That's what local news is supposed to be. The public's not supposed to serve us. We're supposed to serve the public. And I take that very seriously, and that's why I do what I do.
That is so amazing. Dean Stevens, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Good to be back. And if you want to watch this interview, you can check out Quintin's app on Apple, Google, his YouTube channel. You got an Instagram page?
Hey, that's all. I'm supposed to be saying that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Quintin exclusive Instagram.
Quintin exclusive on Instagram. Twitter, you on Twitter too?
Twitter, Quintin on Camera. LinkedIn, Quintin Washington. Facebook, Quintin's Close-Ups. My personal page is maxed out, so you can't friend me.
Yeah.
5,000 is the max.
Dang, that's 5,000.
He needs a fan page.
Oh, I got that. Yeah, Quintin's Close-Ups. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you ever laugh this much when you interview people?
No, I got to stay serious, very serious.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah, otherwise they'll be saying, you're taking people's sides, so no.
Okay. Well, you got to kind of keep it loose and easy sometimes, right?
That's why.
Or you lose your brain.
That's true.
Right? You go insane. You're a good man.
Thank you.
You work hard, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You got somebody calling you.
Oh, it's your mom. Yes. Yes, he is here.